Hey guys, it's Super Squirrel 108. Welcome back to the channel. Very, very exciting tennis news today. Djokovic beats Alexander Zverev. Pretty intense, pretty not too intense, but pretty decent match. Djokovic really came through. He was hitting his spots well. His serve was exceptionally well today. I noticed that he was hitting a lot of more high percentage. It's going to be very interesting to see how he plays against Team in the semifinal. Now that Team has kind of come through the match. So. Zverev, very, very kind of an interesting player. If you notice Zverev, he does very, very well in the Masters, and he tends to do poorly against some lower ranked players in the early stages of tournaments, especially in, the Masters series, the 250s, the 500s. Not that he plays too many 250s, but we don't see too much from Zverev. He seems to be almost like a Kyrgios, not quite, of course, not quite like a Kyrgios, but he's much more of a player that kind of shines when the moment kind of hits. When a top player comes to bring to the table, he can bring it up to the plate and really start to go to bat. So it's very interesting. We really noticed Zverev in this tournament has kind of had a breakthrough. I don't think he's ever made a Grand Slam quarterfinal before. He may have made the third or the fourth round back in the Australian Open 2018, where he kind of made his debut where he played Nadal, but we haven't really seen much of him in the Grand Slams. Quite disappointing. I think he's had a couple first or second round losses in the Grand Slams in the last year and a half. So, we've been waiting to see him kind of break through. He's kind of like a Davydenko, where he was able to upset the big players in the smaller tournaments. Not that Masters 1000s are smaller. They are, but they're quite significant. But in regards to the Grand Slams are really what kind of makes or breaks a great player in terms of in the history books. So what we're looking at is Zverev having some pretty poor results. I know that he's won Toronto. I think it was Montreal, and then he won Rome, I think, 1 year as well against Djokovic back in 2017. So he's kind of been in the mix, and he won Barclays as well. So he's been performing well. But especially this year, it's been very, very poor. Tons of first and second round losses. I think a few in a row, actually. So it's been disappointing. So to see him kind of break through here at Roland Garros on a surface that he's been decent at, it was very impressive. And he made a good run to the quarters, and I think there's more to come. I don't think he'll do very well at Wimbledon. I think we'll probably see him come back in the U.S. Open. Maybe a few of the U.S. Open Series tournaments we'll start to see him shine. But I just have a feeling that he's still far from any major Grand Slam breakthrough until we'll see him. And he might be able to make a semifinal, but I'm not sure about even the final or even the quarters. It's a toss-up. He seems to just be very, very lopsided in terms of his results. So we'll see what's more to come from him. But Djokovic through to the semifinal against Team. Very interesting how this can kind of develop now. Like I said in my last video, I really pick Roger Federer to come through against Nadal in the semifinals. And you can watch my analysis of the preview, which I'm going to post very soon, in addition to the actual match on Friday. Very, 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 very excited to see this. We haven't seen Nadal and Federer play at the French Open, I think, since 2011, where Federer actually had his number in the first set. He had him in the first set. He was up 4-0 or 5-1, completely blew it. I think he hit some kind of drop shot on break point or set point. He missed it. And ever since then, it was just the pain train from Rafa. So we're going to see a really interesting semifinal. It's really more like 55-45, I think, in Federer's favor. But we can definitely see Nadal win. He could even win in straight sets and blow Federer off the court. It's definitely a possibility. But I just have a feeling that Federer has maybe not less court time, but he looks pretty solid in this tournament, and I was surprised. We've seen him come out fresh from the Australian Open 2017. The question is, can he beat Djokovic in the final if he were to win? I'm not sure. Can Nadal even beat Djokovic in the final? Djokovic looks pretty solid. He destroyed Rafa in 2015 at the French Open. Probably the most brutal destruction I've ever seen at the French Open, no doubt. So, again, it's a different year, different time. Rafa's in a different mental state. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens in these next two matches in the semifinals. Probably some of the most interesting Grand Slam tennis in the last 4 to 5 years, besides Wimbledon 2018. But even then, we had Kevin Anderson in the final. No disrespect to him, but he really didn't live up to expectations there and, kind of made the final kind of boring. It wasn't a top 5, top 4 final, which we're going to be seeing now. So very, very, very interesting and exciting to see. It's going to be great. Hope you guys can comment and subscribe down below and let me know what you think of the semifinal matchup of Djokovic versus Team and the Federer Nadal. And I'll be posting more videos to cover the French Open to keep you guys posted. So thanks a lot, and please like and subscribe.